One of the biggest struggles you are going to face on your journey to creating a better life for yourself is being consistent with implementing new behaviors and habits that will ultimately change you as a person and change the entire trajectory of your life. In this video, we are going to talk about why nearly every human on this planet struggles with consistency, and we're going to go over my bulletproof strategy you are going to start applying to your life today that almost guarantees consistency if you follow it properly. Really quickly, before we get into the video, if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, I would greatly appreciate if you would subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment down below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I love chatting with you. And now, let's get into the video. One of the most prevalent reasons that people in today's society cannot stick to a new habit or a new behavior is because it lacks rewards. It lacks a sense of instant gratification that everybody in today's society is so used to receiving. Your old destructive habits, such as scrolling on social media, turning the TV on, having a tasty little snack, those give you instant gratification. You instantly get that hit of dopamine that you are so desperately craving. When you start implementing these new habits and these new behaviors, chances are a lot of them aren't going to give you that instant gratification. If you want to start meditating, if you want to start journaling, if you want to start an exercise routine, you're not going to go to the gym and expect to work out once and see abs the next day. It would be nice. It would be nice. And some days, honestly, I expect that too, but that's probably not going to happen. And by probably, I mean that's not going to happen. You're not going to receive that instant gratification from things that are meant to change your life in the long term, from things that are meant to improve your life in the long term. And the problem is that we get stuck in this cycle. We get stuck in the cycle where one second we are super excited to start something new. We're super excited to start that new behavior. We're so excited to change our life. Finally, we're going to start implementing meditation. Finally, we're going to start working out. And then you do it 1, 2, maybe 3 times, you don't see any kind of results. And then what happens, just like I talked about in the last video, you don't see the results, so you go right back to your old, easy, destructive behaviors. And that cycle continues over and over again because your focus is only on the outcome. Your focus is not on the journey. Your focus is just on, did I get the six-pack abs immediately after I did that one core workout? Did I reach enlightenment after I meditated for 10 minutes that one time? Did I become successful on my YouTube channel after I posted that one video that I knew was going to do well and it didn't do well? You are so focused on the outcome, and I entirely understand because I also focus on the outcome. We all want to see results as quickly as possible. We all want to know that the things that we're doing are worth our time, our effort, and our energy because those are precious commodities that we can't really get back. So we want to make sure that the things that we're doing are worth us doing them. And when we don't see those results in one day, in 1 week, in 2 weeks, a lot of our internal dialogue, a lot of our self-doubt, a lot of our programming says we should probably just stop. It's not worth it for us to be consistent with this because we're not getting any kind of rewards and we're not getting the outcome that we want. We're not getting that sense of validation that we need to keep pushing forward. Things haven't changed for us in these past 2 weeks. What is the point of us continuing to move forward? Why don't we just go back to our old behaviors? It's just so much easier. It's so much easier to lay on the couch and pick up our phone instead of picking up the book. It's so much easier to not drive all the way to the gym. It's so much easier to just eat the snacks in our cabinet instead of preparing a meal for ourselves. It's so much easier to stay in the job that we hate instead of going out and putting ourselves through all of this pain searching for a new job. When every fiber of your being is telling you to stop being consistent with this new habit, with this new behavior, what do? How do you respond to that? When you're going through a period of discomfort, a period of trials and tribulations, when you're failing, what do you do? Do you stop doing these new things? Do you say, you know what, we are consistent with that for a month and nothing came from it, so why would we keep doing it? Do you know how much work goes in behind the scenes of people that are successful? People that are successful do not succumb to their self-doubt. People that are successful know that it takes time, energy, effort, and massive amounts of consistency in order to achieve the goals that they want to achieve. People that are successful know that you put in the work behind the scenes when nobody is watching. That's the thing that's so elusive about consistency. People don't see the successful people putting in all the work. They don't see how much it actually takes. They only see the outcome, and that is what they want. They want that outcome, and they want to get to it as quickly as possible. They don't see that that outcome actually took 5-10 years of building, of being consistent when there were no results, when there were no rewards, when there was no support, when there was nothing but pain and discomfort, when it seemed like the only option was to quit and try something new. People don't see that. You have to be so relentlessly consistent in pursuing your goal because it is so easy to be distracted by shiny objects, to let that fear of the unknown take over, to let that fear that all of this time and energy you're spending on these new habits, on these new behaviors, aren't going to do anything to change your life take over, to let your self-doubt take over, to let that internal dialogue take over. That self-doubt is like the tiniest, most evil version of yourself. And it just lives in your head, hoping and praying that one day you are going to give up. Every time it comes up, it just snickers at you and it says, one day you are going to succumb to me. One day you are going to let me win. And the more often you fall to your self-doubt, the more often you succumb to that self-doubt, the bigger and bigger it gets, and the more challenging it gets to overcome that in the future. If you want to start being a more consistent person, you have to push past all of those things. You have to rise above it and realize that it is a journey, that it is a process. But if you are determined to be consistent and you understand that implementing all of these things that are going to change your life will take time, and you are fed up of the cycle of start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, then you will make it happen. And I want to talk about the strategy that I used to make it happen, because I am not holier than thou. Like I say in nearly every single video, I struggled with consistency for so long. There are still things that I struggle with massively, but I force myself to do it. And when you force yourself to do something that every fiber of your being is saying, I really don't want to do, you build up and you strengthen that willpower. And every single day you force yourself to do something that you really don't want to do. Every single day it gets this much easier. And maybe some of the things that you really don't want to do never get easier. It's very likely that some of these habits that you're trying to implement will never be enjoyable. You might dread doing them every single day you force yourself to do them, but it is so worth it, because the only thing that's happening is you are becoming stronger and stronger from that. I've talked about this before. I struggled for the longest time. Like, my channel is 4 years old. I struggled with the longest time for staying consistent in posting content to YouTube, because it was so much easier to just do what I did before. Or every time I hit a roadblock, to just go on social media, because I needed a little break anyways. Instead of pushing past that roadblock, I would just distract myself further, which would actually take me much further away from the thing that I'm trying to be consistent with, because distraction is the killer of creativity, of consistency. The attraction of distraction will ruin your life and will keep you mediocre forever. Now that I've yapped for a pretty significant amount of time, I want to get into what I have been doing recently to become more consistent, especially with things that I really fucking don't want to do. Ever since I started reading The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. and I've always been an early riser, but I've never been that early of a riser. That is early. However, I have always loved the tranquility that the mornings bring. On the other hand, though, that is early. My bed is comfy. I usually don't get to bed until like 10:30-ish. So it is not enjoyable and it is not easy. And what happens when you're trying to do something that is not enjoyable and it is not easy? Usually you kind of have a little internal debate with yourself. You say, oh, I told myself that I would wake up at 5 o'clock, but I'm so tired, I didn't get enough sleep. The bed is so comfortable and it's so warm and the AC is on and it's chilly out there. Do we really have to? What is the point? Do we really have to get up? I try to shut this up as quickly as possible by just getting out of bed and doing it. I don't even give myself time to think about it, to think about how tired I am, how nice it would be to lay my head back down and just turn off the alarm and go back to sleep. As hard as it is, I hear that alarm and I get up. And that goes for any habit that you are trying to be consistent with. If you say, okay, I'm going to meditate, you sit down and you meditate. You don't say, I'm going to meditate, but first I have to do the dishes. And then I'm actually a little bit hungry and I don't want my belly to be rumbling while I'm meditating. So I'm going to make myself some food. And then guess what? You never meditate. When you say, I am going to do this, you do it right then and there. Allow no debate. No time for excuses to come up. No times for reasons why you can't do it right now to come up. No debate. You're going to do it. you do it. That is the first thing that I do to stay consistent with the things that are wicked uncomfortable. When that fails, I talk myself into it by remembering why I'm doing the thing that I'm doing. Without fail, every single time I'm on the Stairmaster and I'm pushing myself hard, there's a little voice that comes in and says, there's no reason for you to be doing this. You can slow down. You should stop right now, actually. You're really out of breath. Your heart rate's at 183. It's been at 183 for 5 minutes. You should probably just slow down. Look, everybody else is going really slow. I literally talk to myself when that happens. And sometimes I'll do it out loud. If I hear self-doubt starting to creep in before I do something, while I'm doing something, after I'm doing something, I will talk to myself and I will remind myself why I'm doing the thing I'm doing, why I need to push past this moment of discomfort and continue doing the thing I'm doing, and how proud of myself I'm going to feel after I finish doing the thing I'm doing. Yesterday I was on the Stairmaster and I told myself that I was going to go at a level 12, which is a pretty moderate pace, for 10 minutes. And I was unwell. I was dying. But I felt so fucking good afterwards. During, I felt terrible, and there was so much of me that was like, absolutely not. We need to stop this right now. This is insanity. There's no reason for you to be doing this. You can be going so much slower and you could get the same result, which is nothing in that immediate moment. But when those thoughts come up, I will literally speak out loud and I will say, remember why you're doing this. You are so much fucking stronger than you think you are. Your body is stronger than your mind. That's my favorite one. My body is stronger than my mind. If you're doing something workout related or even like food related, my body is stronger than my mind. Yesterday, I was calling myself a machine, which, like, I mean, take with that as you will, but I liked it. It was great. Whatever kind of positive self talk you need to give yourself in order to stay consistent with these uncomfortable behaviors, these uncomfortable new habits that you are implementing into your life, because in the long run, they are going to make a world of difference in you as a person and in the trajectory of your life. So a quick recap before we get into the last one. We are going to do it before we can debate doing it. We are going to force ourselves through it with positive self-talk. Talk to yourself like your favorite motivational speaker talks to their crowd. You are going to remember your why. Remember why you are doing the thing that you are doing, and remember that you are not going to get an immediate outcome, that it's going to take work, that you have to be consistent with this new behavior, with this new habit in order to see the results, and that it is going to be so fucking worth it in the end. And the last thing, if you are really having a hard time being consistent, give yourself little rewards. It's okay to give yourself little rewards every once in a while. You don't have to be so fucking hard on yourself. That works for some people, but some people need to have little things to look forward to throughout the day. Some people need to have a little nap if they wake up super early. Some people need to have a little healthy version of a sweet treat if they eat clean throughout the whole day. Some people need to allot themselves 20 minutes of scrolling on social media. I don't love that one, but some people need to do that. If it helps you to stay consistent with these things that are going to make bigger, more impactful differences in your life in the long run, then sure, scroll on social media for a little bit. That has a whole world of problems in itself, but if that's something that you need to do, okay. Allow yourself those little rewards, those little motivators, so that you are more likely to stick with those new things. You don't have to just like leave yourself high and dry. Good luck implementing this new habit. I'm not going to give you shit for it. That's like quitting cigarettes cold turkey. It's very difficult to do. Some people can do it and some people are great at it. And some people never go back to smoking again. But a lot of people need to wean themselves off of it. Or if they quit smoking, they need something else to be their vice. They need to give themselves little treats for not smoking cigarettes. If you want to start implementing meditation and every time you meditate, you give yourself a little tiny piece of dark chocolate, great. Do that, because that'll create a trigger, and it may even make it a lot easier for you to meditate, because you'll think, wow, I really want a tiny piece of dark chocolate. And then you'll say, well, I only get to have that tiny piece of dark chocolate when I meditate. Guess I have to meditate. There you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you need a little vice, give yourself a little vice. I really hope that this video helps you to get out of that frustrating cycle of start and stop, because it drives you crazy. I understand. I was there, and I know that you are capable of breaking away from that. That is all I have for you today. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like me, hit subscribe, leave me a comment. I love getting to know you. I love hearing your feedback, and I will talk to you guys soon.